Hello, everyone, and welcome to Morning Cup of Joe with Crystal Rain. Thank you for joining me on the sofa and wearing one of my favorite shirts. This is how I feel today. A little bit better than yesterday, right? Yeah. So, what are we going to talk about? Morning Cup of Joe is a little different. We have discussions about what's going on in uh, current events. We talk about just different things in general. And, it's just like a come to, what do you call it? Come to, I don't want to say come to Jesus type of moments, but how about come to reality type of moments? Or just, before we start the week, it's time to just kind of like release, release everything and just be chill. So hopefully I have my morning cup of Joe. Are you coffee? Are you tea? Let me know. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was um, I guess I should put that on something, right? I want to talk about, it's funny because I brought this up a little bit yesterday or today. There was a post in one of my women's groups about um, like Cardi B and Megan the Stallion about, basically what they do, twerking, different things, and, how it's affecting the kids and all that stuff. And, someone made up a good point. It's like, well, they're not for kids. Like, so it should be like the parents' fault, right? Not exactly, I think. I think it should always be, the parents' fault. But, because you can do all the right things. You can, you know, put in all the right security blocks and things of that sort and say, hey, that's entertainment. That's not really what we believe and all this stuff. And, they'll get with a group of friends and, make all types of videos. Oh, thank you. Hello. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully we'll have a beautiful chat today. And so I just kind of made a comment like, but we do have to look at and hint on the fact of, um, like Ebonics don't trump Webster. So right now you got like a bunch of kids and people in their 20s and probably even some older adults too going around calling themselves wretched savages. And when you look up those words, do you really want to be known as a wretched savage? And you have to remember, us Black people, we were called, by others savages, and we did not want to be called savages and things of that sort. And others were called savages who, resembled us. And so I think it's funny that this word savage and everyone's a savage and it's supposed to be like this, I don't know, like you're hot or you're like a beast or whatever. Uh no, because when you look that up and you put the two words together, wretched savage, and that's what my point was. Because I was stating how I wished her Protect Black Women's moment, Megan the Stallions, on, a comedy show. I wish that it would have just ended with fist in the air. I said that moment was so beautiful. It was like these Black women on stage, fist in the air, heads bowed, and it was very iconic to when the Olympians did that because they wanted to participate. They felt guilty, or like they felt like they weren't in the right place. Being in Germany, they felt like they should have been at home fighting and uh, fighting for rights like everybody else. There was a whole movement going on and they were felt like they were missing that movement, and they took that moment even though they were told not to do it, and then they were harshly criticized for it. And now I look at the moment that she took, and then she went right back into twerking and humping the floor, and I was like, okay, that's cool. But to me, it lessened the moment. It did. It lessened it. It demeaned it a little bit. Because yeah, that's what she was there to do, and she did sing the song, and I would have just stopped right there. I wouldn't have continued. Me personally, just what I'm saying, I would have just stopped and did like a whole nother song on a different set after saying those wonderful words. So it was like it was much appreciated, but I'm just saying, So anyway, going to the post today that was put up in a group of mine, yeah, they someone posted up the pictures and they posted up the cuties picture next to it. And it was basically like the same poses that the girls were doing. And that's what the commentary was supposed to be about, what the girls were doing. Uh, so again, welcome to Empower TV. I'm also known as Brown Sugar Amplified. I keep forgetting about that. We have to do a Brown Sugar Amplified show. And we are talking, about our morning cup of Joe, what's going on in the world today. and we'll get to, the latest, what's going on in the world today. But right now we are on, images and, how these images affect others and, what are we to do about them, especially like young people. And one person just made one comment, and this is what happened. She just goes, and I kind of had to like tune. I wasn't going to type anything, but then I had to, and she was just like, well, this is a dumb post. Why is it a dumb post? That's when no one has any type of nothing to say. It's like, really, how ignorant? Why would you just say it's a dumb post? Why would you not say, oh, this is an interesting post, I don't agree? And then state actual reasons why. And the reason why I chimed in is when I saw her just say it's a dumb post, I was like, no, it's not a dumb post. It's a great topic for discussions, especially, for those who are parents. How do you protect your children? How do you make sure they're going to go out and display your values? Because let me tell you, I've worked in the school system. And if you think your kids are displaying your values all the time, I'm not saying all, but most don't. They're not displaying what they're taught at home. And then that's what the schools think why and what their home life's like. And you show up as, a decent, hardworking parent who's like, what are you talking about? And most schools and most teachers, they don't even look at parents or speak to them, especially parents of color. They don't really speak to them. They just assume. Trust me, I know. I've heard conversations. And with that in mind, knowing that your values aren't always carried outside the home, again, what do you do? Especially when they're teenagers. I know when I was a teenager, I had my own job, a car, I went, but I always stayed, I always remembered who I was. I don't think I ever did anything too bad. No, I don't. But, there are those who venture a little further, we did have fun playing card tag. Who else had fun playing card tag? I want to know. If you've had fun playing card tag, drop it in the drop it in the chat. So, so that's what we're talking about. These different things, images. And the reason why I say that, and a lot of people usually don't care depending on who's depicting these images, because I had to bring up the next point to this woman was, take our new vice president, Kamala Harris, VP Kamala Harris. Yes, the first African-American vice president. We had the first. So that means the first African-American woman president is coming. If we got her, she's the vice president. Biden knew exactly. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. I think sometimes he's just moving too fast and thinking too fast and his brain isn't connecting with his mouth. But yeah, he knows what he's doing with it. He does. So, I said people didn't mind the comments made about her, calling her all out her name, saying how she made it to the top, was this, that, and the other. And it's like, how do you know this? She was a nice, attractive woman. What if they just liked her and wanted to promote her? Why did it have to be like a relationship? Why does it have to be that? Why can she just not? She seems very smart, very intelligent. She knows what she's talking about. She holds herself. And I like the fact that she can have fun. Like when she dances and she does this. I love it. You want your presidents to relate to you. You want, and I saw the most beautiful post of a little girl that had a shirt that said her mom made it. And I knew she had this shirt ready so that she could take this picture so it could go viral. My VP looks like me. And I think that's awesome. I mean, what a uplifting. So why are we want to promote and highlight images like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion to represent us, but we really don't want to promote and push images like that to represent us. And that's what I think is the problem. We need to promote all images of us. Now, I'm not saying they're bad. Those are entertainers. Cardi B doesn't even let her daughter listen. She goes, no, my daughter doesn't listen to WAP. Why? Because it's not for them. But there's parents out there thinking that these people are living this weird, off lifestyle. It's like, no, that's for the camera, folks. They're trying to instill some values in their kids. And it was funny because I'll never forget, people were so shocked when Elton John made Lady Gaga like the godmother of his children. They wanted their child to have a female influence. And they were like, why? Like Lady Gaga? And he says, yeah, she represents the values that we have in our home. So you don't really know what's going on behind the closed scenes. It's always just a guess. You don't know what's going on behind their closed doors. Going to church, they can say they're not going to church because guess what? It's none of your business. At the end of the day, it's no one's business. I think my mic may be a little loud. So we're just going to do this with it. Awesome. So going back to that conversation, I know I just had to bring up some points. Like, one, Webster doesn't trump, excuse me, Ebonics doesn't trump Webster. Those words mean what they mean. And you can have a friend, let's say of a different race or of a different background, and they come up to you and they call you a wretched savage. How do you know what they mean? I mean, they could portray one thing to you and but really have a hidden meaning laughing. So I think it's extremely important for us to educate our children. It's extremely important for us to uplift all images of, people of color, of other, just hey, of women. Women are one of the most policed as well, like our bodies and things. I'll never forget, I have this one friend on Facebook, and if he thinks a woman is too scantily clad, he takes a picture of them and posts them on Facebook. And I had a problem with that. I'm like, why are you out when why are you taking pictures of women when you're out shopping? Come on. You can't do that. You can't just going around taking random pictures of women and then posting them. You don't know. Some of these women may have like a restraining order, and then all of a sudden they know they go to the Home Depot right over there on 7 Mile. You don't want to do that. And I haven't had a problem. I was like, why are you taking pictures of people? And one had on a pair of shorts. I was like, man, I used to wear shorts like that as a teenager. I mean, they were about like a little bit above mid thigh, but they weren't tight. They're like those khaki type of shorts that weren't tight, like khaki light ones. And like I had a pair of shorts on like that last night. And I'm like, yeah, I'll wear them again. I would wear those shorts in public. What's wrong with that? We, I think we tend to want to put people in bubbles all the time. Hello, I don't know what that means. So I can't comment. I don't know what that means. But thank you for joining us. Welcome to Empower TV. Today we're discussing some things that I normally do on Morning Cup of Joe. If you're coffee or tea, let me know in the chat. This could also be considered a brown sugar amplified moment. Brown sugar amplified moments are really hot. Um, so that's what we're talking about, like how we're policed. Like I saw it yesterday on a person's stream, and she has it to where she says, like, don't talk about my body, don't, this, that, and the other. And I'm kind of like, well, you're showing body. I think that's a weird thing for us, like, to not say, hey, don't comment on my body. But maybe that's also a Twitch thing that I have to look up, like, so they don't get banned, because I see that on several ladies' posts who, they're endowed. Let's say it, they're endowed, they're thick. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I said, hey, Luscious, you are absolutely luscious. I said, I'm glad to see I'm not the only luscious on here. She's a little bit more luscious than me. She got a little bit more middle. But yeah, and so you have to know how to phrase things, I think. And so I know there's some comments deleted and some yes, you could, oh, thank you. Yes. So I think there are some comments, but I think that's also a weird thing to like kind of, that's what you're highlighting, and to say don't talk about it though. I think that's a little weird one for me. But so I just said it a different way. I said luscious instead of, ooh, look at that. That's what I said. Uh, I thought it was funny. I think she thought it was funny too, like luscious. So yeah, that's what we're talking about. But yeah, someone else has some harsh comments, I think, for her, because she could be considered a BBW, but she had body. To me, that was just body. It wasn't like all over the place. It was nice. She had a cute skirt that went everything, a good top. Um, but I think we're scared, especially here in America. I don't know where that person was from, but I would say they're probably American. That here we tend to be scared of a little body sometimes, and I don't think we should be. We have to tell our kids and the differences between like what Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's doing, for a living. And it's to attract, it's to kind of make weird, and it's to attract. Come on, we know that. It's hype. It's hype. It's just hype, and we have to realize that. So I think when people don't, then you end up with like stuff that can happen on little cuties. And it's hard because, you have to remember these people are coming, especially when they're getting into the teenage years. So let's go from like end of elementary, let's say I'll say sixth grade is end of elementary. So sixth grade to like the junior high, with that transition. So if you don't think they've seen some things or talked about some things, come on. You have to get real. And I think that's a hard transition because you have a bunch of people who are figuring themselves out. I'll never forget, because I didn't get it. I guess I was still kind of in La La Land, I was just like, hi, everybody. I was just like the nice person. And I thought about it, I think, like later. And this girl was upset that she had a hickey. This is just one incident. And I was like, well, just cover it up or something, or what's the big deal? I didn't understand the big deal about the hickey. And then she goes, well, I don't want my mom to see me have a hickey. And I was just like, oh, okay, I guess. And then I was like, well, how'd you get it? I think I asked her how she got the hickey. And she goes, well, it's a girl gave me the hickey. And I said, well, oh, that's simple. Just tell your mom a girl did it. Tell her you're practicing. And she was like, oh, I don't think she'd be too happy about that either. But you never know. So that's the things I'm talking about. Because if you don't think they're already doing some of those things, like you saw on Little Cuties, and like a lot of parents are really upset, but sometimes the truth is hard. I thought that was a harsh way to put it in that movie. I just still don't understand the director's point of view when it comes to that one. I would need to know more about that director's background. I know she comes from a different country, so I would wonder what experience they had, and then the culture that they were also highlighting. You know, they really didn't. One person, a friend of mine, she related a little bit just based on those restrictions. She kind of grew up, I'm assuming Mormon. Hopefully it didn't almost sound sometimes like a cult. Um, but yeah, there was and I think her husband came out of this religion too, her first one. And she just always said she gained her freedom. Like, he had to tell her what to wear. He had to approve of everything. Couldn't work. Um, yeah, it was really harsh. And I'm not talking, and this isn't, and if you're thinking Middle Eastern Muslim, no, I would have never guessed that she went through something like that. But it was under the guise of religion. I would say maybe Mormon or some type of third, what do you call it? Some type of, I would have to look it up, but something along those lines, but in a harsher tone. Um, and then she talked about having to go to some of like, I guess these like camps that they have for the kids. And she said stuff happened there. Um, I'm not sure if these are, I'm not sure, I'm not sure if it's like grooming type of camp that they have, but yeah, because we had read, it was an article that I posted, and it was what these two brothers did to their sister, and one actually ended up impregnating her. But this is like they're like in the sticks, y'all. Like there's probably not people around for who knows what, but you could tell that there was probably some family inbreeding. There was something wrong here, or there. Excuse me, not here. There was something wrong there, and the judge said he thought these two men were just, and they were white, of course. These two young men were just too young and too nice, I guess. The way he put it, to put in jail, but no. So this again, this religion and what happens, again, governs how people are punished too. So he didn't want to see them go to prison, and I'm thinking, well, where's the girl to live? Was she not removed? Like, what happened there? She's supposed to stay with her attackers, and she probably doesn't even think she was attacked based on whatever again is being taught. Um, So that's what I had put up a post, and then they had commented. That's how I found that out. She goes, "No, she goes, I doubt that anything's gonna happen." She said, "Hopefully the girl will get removed," and I thought that this was something that happened. Like people were asking, "This happened like years ago, like years ago." I was like, "No, that was like recent. It was a couple of months back." And I guess it's being hushed now. So when she made comments about having to live through some ordeals like that, she said she knows of cases, she knows of stories like that, and no, the guys were never ever punished. It was just maybe the girl had to go live somewhere else, and unfortunately then they're feeling like what shameful, and it's all their fault that that went down. So how we approach these things is very, very I think we should approach them cautiously is what I'll say. Because again, looking at different things, and when I saw that post come up again about Cardi and them, because someone else, when Black is King came out, people were very happy or upset with Black is King because they were like, well, it's not true. And of course it's not true, because guess what? It's not based on anything true. It's based on her experience with the Lion King. And it says it in there. Like, they're using the name Simba and all this stuff, and they're even using dialogue. Yeah. So we know that's not true. But what she did use was some authentic tribal wear. She used some authentic wear. She used, I don't know where they shot, if they actually shot in Africa or in some type of deserts, or if this was done in Arizona and they were to make it look like, Africa. That I didn't look at all into, because I took it for what it was, art. Now, most people Didn't have a problem with that. They thought that was fine. And then when Cardi B and them came out with WAP, you guys know what that means. Don't put that in my chat. Came out with WAP. um, it was like, okay, great. Here they come, bringing us back down to the Hold'emville when, she just elevated us to kings and queens. And I was like, well, we were always elevated. She just wanted to highlight some ish. And I experienced what she's been going through in her own awakening. And I was like, yes, she's not yes. And I love that she came out with something to be a part of a movement to help uplift, to help people at least just think about something different. And I still love the costumes and I love the body paint. She showed some things in that, but to me, that was more artwork. And most people won't want to relate some of those authentic moves to twerking. Now, that's when I had a problem because someone tried to say, and I have a problem with this, and some do believe this, that twerking came out of African dance. And you know what? We're going to Google because I don't believe so. Now, there are some dances, let's talk. There are some dances that do resemble some African dances that we do in America that I know from the 80s, like the Running Man. There's some things that look very similar. Detroit Jit, there's this one video of that like, I can't do the jit, but it's fancy, it's footwork moves. So we got the Detroit Jit. There are some footwork moves that look very similar. That, yeah, there are some dances that came out of Africa that uh, started or inspired some American dances. The Earthquake, y'all know the Earthquake, y'all know that one. The Earthquake, but you could also say that possibly came out of Hawaii, with hula dancing. So they wanted to say that twerking came out of Africa. And I was kind of like, you cannot say that twerking came out of Africa because to me, it's totally different because of what twerking is supposed to be is what it's supposed to be and what it's supposed to look like and represent. And I don't think those moves look similar. Like I can talk about some actual moves that do look similar, but then I can speak about some things, they just don't look similar to me. They don't whatsoever. So, oh, you know what? I'm only on one thing. I'm going to go here. Okay. So awesome. So that's that. So that's just, some things some conversations that have been going around that I thought were interesting. So now we're going to get into, and we're going to take a brief break because I want to heat up my coffee. Or you can heat up your tea or get something to munch on and come back. And we are going to get into what's going on. We're going to look up, Biden. Oh, first we're going to look up the twerking thing, where it actually came from and how it started. And if I'm wrong, great. So we're going to do that first. And when we get back, and then we're going to get into the after announcement of Biden/Harris, our new president and vice president, and we'll see what's trending today. That's something I also do on Morning Cup of Joe is what's trending, and then we discuss those things. Okay, peace, love, and many blessings. I will be right back. anything. I forgot. So you guys don't hear like, noise and things when I put my, now I have to do that all over again. That's a beautiful moment. So, okay. So we looked up. So again, welcome back to Empowered TV with Crystal Rain. And again, this could also be considered a brown sugar amplified moment. Could cut that little bit of silence out, right? You gotta love my live bloopers. You gotta drop some LOLs in the chat. Somebody didn't say anything. I forgot, so you guys don't hear. Oh, so now you're listening to me here. Okay, I don't know how that popped on. Weird, because I'm not even in it here. So my live bloopers, you just gotta love. If you don't watch or anything else, let's just see what she like if she trips or. But hey, when you're quirky, you're just quirky. You can't help it. It comes naturally. Believe it or not, it's not. I don't have to try too hard. Okay, so we had looked up the word twerk and who actually started, and I was right. So I'm gonna do that part again. I was right. So guess whose name comes up? If you can guess, if you drop it in the chat, because that's one thing I asked, and I don't understand why nobody dropped anything in the chat, because, well, you didn't hear me ask the question. So if you think you know who is attributed for twerking, drop it in the chat. Or you can put question marks. Nobody wants to try? I'm so happy because I was right. Okay, so singer Miley Cyrus's name comes up. Ha ha ha. But guess whose community does this get thrown into? Whatever another community doesn't want or doesn't want to be known for, it gets thrown our way. Yeah, you had a lot of Black women twerking, but where did they get it from? I don't remember seeing this dance. I didn't know because I don't watch her videos. I have no idea. I mean, I would see them on occasion. And but Black women, because our attributes, we became known for this dance, twerking, when no, this wasn't even in our backyard. It actually seems like something that came out of England. So singer Miley Cyrus, the word twerk, as we know it, Twerk, a dance move popularized by singer Miley Cyrus, actually dates back to the 1820s. Now, if this was in Africa, it'd probably date back a lot farther, but no, 1820s. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, researchers found the word one of 500 new dictionary entries. So this word was entered more than 500 times. And it was originally spelled Twerk to refer to a twisting or jerking movement or a twitch. That's why they'd be like, it's very, so we can't do it out here because I want to get banned. So, but it's that movement like that. It's, if you were to twitch your head. So that's a little weird. Hi, good afternoon, love. Thank you. Hey, Kalicious Queen. I still have to call you. So, you remember when people were arguing with me about twerking? I wish I had the little screen so you could see it. But this gets thrown into our community. When they just dancing like everybody else. This is dance culture community. Let's throw that over there. So that's like everybody, y'all. So I would love for it to get taken out of Black culture because it is not culture. So if it is not readily accepted by all, you can't throw it into the culture. One thing I do throw into a culture because it is readily accepted, and I talked about this before, I'm not sure on here, but let's say, what was it? Oh my goodness. I'll come back to that. Well, let me see if I can guess. What could be part of culture? So like one of the things is what I will contribute because it's readily accepted into African American culture is like the civil rights movement. Yes, that is part of our culture. We have where that has started and everything. Another thing is the great debaters, education, because what we had our own schools, had our own certain things. And there were certain things that did come out of the African American community into for education. I will accept farming. Well, farming. Why? After slavery, what did most people do? I will put that into our culture, and we taught others. We were the ones who were able to grow in circumstances. That's why we were gotten. They saw people living in conditions that was like, how are they thriving? How is this so beautiful? How is this the land? But they didn't understand the richness of the land, all the nutrients beneath that land, that it was made to thrive and to grow. But they could grow, and they killed them, and they blocked the friendships from the Native Americans before they could learn anything else. You can only eat corn and what was it? Corn and how to fish for so long. You know what I'm saying? They didn't understand how to survive. So we got some people who are living in harsh times brought us over here. So I'm sorry, but I would attribute a little farming our way over in America because they were able to help those crops grow. They knew different things and tricks to get that. So when I think of culture, and there's something else that is I was thinking of that's readily accepted into a culture that you could say yes to, and I'm not sure if I read it. But anyway, things that are accepted by generally the entire culture, but you can't put something in there. Oh, it was from an article that I had hinted on last time, and one that usually is not us saying it's our culture, it's other people. Have you noticed? Again, they'll call it hip hop culture. That's not that you can't say that's just black people anymore because you have so many people that participate in hip hop and rap culture. You can't. So there's a whole article. Maybe I'll look it back up. So now let's go into what I was talking about. So now we would have to look into what country. Let's see what country. Oh, actually, here it is. So if you had to look up what country, so what they're saying is this: the origins of twerking, as far as for us. So I'm like right and wrong. But they're trying to say, and I would have to look up some dances because I haven't seen any dances like this. No, you still can't, but I guess they'll take it. But you can't say all of Africa. See, we're a similar style of dance known as the mapuka. So I'm going to look at the mapuka because again, people be trying to always throw it over there. So let's say the mapuka. Let me see if I can spell it right. Okay. And let's see what their definition of it is. I want to see it first. See, they call it something else. The dance of the behind. So let's see what the dance of the behind looks like. So I'm going to see. And you guys look up the dance of the behind. Oh, and I think that's in Beyonce's video. Oh, and most of these get deleted. Yeah, you can't look up that dance. There's a reason why you can't do that dance. Because we've done a dance like that for serious, but it doesn't do what, it's not the same thing. Like, like the butt or the dog. So I would attribute this dance more towards the butt or the dog. In the butt or the dog, yes, I will put that towards the dance. But you know what? These dances, here, let's see. There's one that didn't get deleted. So let's see. Let's see if it resembles it. And this is Cote d'Ivoire. Okay, that's similar. But I've seen that dance. That's not twerking. The dance of the butt behind. I don't think so. Because I've seen that dance before, yes. I don't know because they didn't take that twerk to a whole nother level. That's just the butt jiggle. That's the dog or the butt. That's just a jiggle. I don't know. You can call that the earthquake. But I see why the dances it gets deleted. There must have been some on there that were really bad. This is again a young lady doing this type of dance. Yeah, I've seen that dance before. That's not American twerking. I can't agree with that one. Because what they're doing is totally different. That's actually an African dance. And I wouldn't say that's where it came from. You would have to attribute twerking probably more towards the butt / a dog. She got her baby right there as she's doing this. Y'all. Anyway, yeah, I can't agree with that one because that doesn't look like what we do. Or not, that doesn't look like the dance. I'm just going to be honest. So let's look up the English because this comes from them, some of it. So you can't just say it's part of, one person's culture because, so the 1820s, because it started in the 1820s, dance, because that's where she's getting hers from. So there's all these different opinions, right? And which is right. I just saw what is considered the butt dance or the dance of the butt from Cote d'Ivoire. It doesn't look nothing like twerk. Again, just because something looks similar to it doesn't make it is, but it gets thrown our way. And that's where people also want to say where this comes from. But, maybe they got some more elaborate ones. Like I said, there were some that were deleted. So you would probably have to go there to get the actual, what it looks like. I'm not going to accept anything else put on YouTube by any of us. I'm not. So the 1820s dance, twerk, TWIRK. Because that's where they're talking about. But I wonder if there's any footage of it. I think so. Nope, that's Miley twerking. Anyway, they say this goes back to the 1820s, but I don't see anybody doing I can't find any pictures of original twerk, TWIRK. Okay, moving on from that. Then we're going to also look up, see what's going on. There were tons of celebrations the other day. I did a late night, started at 10 p.m., y'all. I am so sorry it did. Sorry, it won't ever start that late again, but I had to switch formats. at the last minute, which was unplug everything and replug up some other things. So it was a bit crazy, and I was just like, why? Tears, tears. Okay, so let's see what Biden and Harris are up to. Now, this is one inauguration I may want to go to. I know he had a speech last night, but like I said, I was in La La Land. Biden slash Harris. Let's see what's going on. Team Joe, Kamala's story. Oh, SNL and them did their little spoof. So the hymn Biden quoted during his speech was, let's see here, because there's people always saying he quoted a hymn. The hymn Biden quoted during his speech was a nod to his faith in his son, Beau. Oh, I wish I would have saw that. So let me see here. Oh, so during his acceptance speech, he closed it out with a quote from a hymn on Eagle's Wings that was composed more than 3 decades ago by a Catholic priest. Okay, that's awesome. So there were speeches November 10th and lasting through, so when the vote, what happens next? Beginning on November 10th and lasting through December 11th, states will begin to certify their election results, a process carried out over slightly different timeframes. So I feel sorry for those people. Dang. Hopefully people don't go to the voting counting centers and they just let these people be, let them do their jobs. If you want to stand and witness the counting and spend your time that way, fine. I prefer to spend my time another way. I will not be hovering over people counting and doing their job. I'm going to be doing other things like living. I'm sorry. Hell, no. Let those people do their jobs. 2 Georgia runoffs in Georgia are likely to determine control of the Senate. So, okay, so wow. In Georgia, the Senate hasn't been decided. So, Senator David Perdue, right, will face Jon Ossoff, who's probably on the left, in January in one of 2 Georgia Senate races that have yet to be decided. Wow. So, as the dust settles from the presidential race, the eyes of the political world have already shifted to Georgia, where the 2 candidates will almost certainly determine which party has control of the Senate. Like, is that still split? Is it still 50-50? Once that gets determined, well, I have to look that back up. Okay, so that's awesome. So let's look up. Because we know Biden and Harris were celebrating. So let's look up Trump slash Pence. Now, what they doing? Goodbye, Mike Pence. Now, Trump has lost the election. Pence could pardon him, but it's Biden who should. So, talking about pardoning somebody, huh? Okay. And Biden is standing with Trump. Cool. So, that's what's in the election news right now. So, they just had the speeches going on what's next. They're still going to be counting ballots. Oh, geez. Okay, so let's talk about the movie last night. Okay, so as you guys know, there may be a Scream 5. I am not going to let up on this. There's going to possibly be a Scream 5. All right? Wow. And Sydney's in it still. Sydney is still here. She's still the final girl. Why don't they just kill off the final girl so we can just stop the screams? But I guess we don't want Sydney to die, right? Sydney. Sydney, I see you. I think every time I hear that voice, Anyway, but I've been watching the MTV series Scream, kind of comparing it. Now, the last one I watched was, a little bit more interesting. Had definitely an interesting backstory for what their ghost killer was about and what's going on. Yeah. But again, to me, it lacks that jump factor. So I have to look at the rest of the sequels to see if it kept the jump factor, because that is what sold Scream. You never knew where that ghost killer was going to jump out of. And it was just the comments were witty. And I know they probably wanted to differentiate themselves. And Wes Craven still has um, his control. Of course, he's like executive producer of it. Um, so I watched. I have to rewatch because I fell asleep. I was trying to get to the end. I was like, there can't be that many more of these. Every time I thought I was like at the last episode, I fell asleep, and I don't know how it ended and why it ended and why. The one person I figured it was him because guess what? It's usually what the boyfriend, right? That's why in the Scream 2, she looks at the boyfriend like, because he was all of a sudden attacked. And that's how it started before, to where she didn't think it was her boyfriend because what? The boyfriend was attacked, right? It always goes that way. So same thing, same scenario. There's that formula that we talked about. And that formula was still there. So I'm curious. I'm gonna watch, and I'm not sure if season 1 and 2 go in handy, because like I said, it just kept going. I never was like, there's so many of these. But whoever wrote that story or helped write it just had, awesome. So if they did two of those, maybe they'll do another one of the other story, which is also interesting because they had an unknown call at the end, so it's not really over. But they decided not to pick up the phone and allowed it to be over for just that one beautiful moment. Yes. Okay, so now we need to look up what is trending in like pop culture. What's going on? And if you have a Sunday sound off, you can definitely drop it in the comments. Sunday sign off. And a sound off could be positive. It could be, oh my goodness, um, we've had a lot of shooting, or oh my goodness, Sunday sound off about COVID. I don't know if anybody can rant enough about COVID and the fact that you can barely go anywhere. That it looks like some places are even shutting down, and a lot of people are putting themselves on lockdown. And, businesses are being affected by it, and it's like, how are we to continue like this? So that would probably be my Sunday sound off. Uh, right there is like, I think about going places, and then it's like, oh, I think about, oh, maybe we can start going. Hey, let's do before the weather turns too cold, let me get to one of those outdoor, cafes one more time, and or outdoor restaurant patio. And I think all that's kind of being shut down again, kind of, sort of. And a lot of people are doing carry out only. Cool. As these winter months approach, I don't feel too happy about what's going on. So that's my Sunday sound off. I'm just like, COVID, please, please. Like, it's like, COVID, please, please go home. Come again, never again. That's my thing right there. So let's see what's in pop culture trending. Trending news. A lot of times what they think is trending news, I don't. Okay, so let's look at today.com, because I don't know what the Indian Express is. So of course, Kamala, Harris, Biden and Harris are trending. So clinching victory, President-elect Biden declares time to heal America. Awesome. So that is what's really trending. Oh, Whitney Houston, 9 Inch Nails to be inducted into the Rock of Fame. Wow. The Crown actors reveal how they play Prince Charles and Princess Diana. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. Wolf Van Halen posts tribute to his late dad. It's really hard being without you. Wow. So that was sweet. Oh, so in Texas, a kindergartner reportedly dies of COVID-19 in Texas. They did not get through it. What are provisional ballots and why it takes time to count them? So what is that? Most people don't, listen to all this rhetoric. So provisional ballots used by voters, if there's a question about their eligibility when they show up at the polls, are slowing the count. Okay, I guess those are just our ballots. Oh wow, rapper King Von shot fatally in Atlanta. Wow, like I said, I kind of said that thinking just of Michigan, that there's been a lot of shootings. But no, we had a rapper in Atlanta who was shot. Let's see here. What's up with that? Oh, wow. In Atlanta, dispute that reportedly involved an off duty officer. I think I may have heard this. On August 29th. Oh, yeah, I think I remember this. Wow. Wow. So they were standing in a parking lot. Another group of men approached them for whatever reason. And I guess one of them was an off duty cop. You know, Sometimes it's just easy to walk by. Do people have to be, um, I don't know, just Callous. What a waste. Sheet pan pizza. Make Chef Gabby. Oh, how to make a pan pizza. Oh, yeah. See, this happens a lot. I wonder if she had a C-section. So in women's health, this is one of my things that we want to promote. You want to check your physician and how many. What's the body count? So she was a black pediatrician, but still died after giving birth to her first child. And that just goes back to who's looked at heavily and who's not looked at. And she like she was only 22. Oh, was she? Oh, she was 30, only 30 years old. Oh, early via C-section again. We get looked at. We don't get great care when it comes to C-sections. They don't really look. It says where challenges we encountered were ruptured liver, high blood pressure, and kidneys were not fully functioning. He wrote, fought with every piece of strength. So they say that black women develop, and they're blaming it on preeclampsia. So our likelihood, so I guess she developed it during her pregnancy. They need to do a C-section. Black women develop preeclampsia at a rate that is 60% higher than that of white women. I wonder why, if it has to do anything health wise. But if this woman was a physician, you would think she was very healthy. And my one friend calls it, because she's a nurse, she calls it the black gene. Uh, says it's those genes that we go through. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I'm going to be right back. We're going to take a little brief moment because there's something that I wanted to kind of end a certain way and I don't have it with me. So don't worry. It's over, but it's not over. We're going to be ending the stream soon. That's what I'll say. Um, I'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to Empowered TV with Crystal Rain. And it's about that time, people. Thank you for joining me. So, I have a little tip that I want to talk about. My friend told me I would never get one of these to work. We would also consider this a brown sugar amplified moment. Yeah, with what the conversation was about. And I do believe, so if you're not a follower, please follow. Check out the channel. So I'm trying to grow um, avocado trees. And, getting these to crack and root is a little difficult. So I tried the cup. Oh my God, there it is. Oh my goodness. So I tried the cup method where you do the cup and the toothpicks. Nothing came out of those. It seemed like it wasn't really, and looking at this, it really has to be hydrated. So maybe it wasn't enough humidity, but I did that over the summer and it seems like there was enough humidity in the air. And I don't know, I'll have to hold this up to the camera. And so my friend told me, as I asked her how did she get hers to crack, as I saw that she had one cracked at her house and it developed a root and everything. And it has to stay together after it cracks. Because when I did have the one before this one crack, I dropped it and it split open. So of course the root, the little seed inside the shell died. So I'm going to show you guys this. I'm going to get this water on my things here. And so I got it to crack. And basically what she told me to do, and another person does this, I saw on YouTube as well, but their video never showed up for some strange reason. So this is my tip of the day. If you want to get your avocado to split and seed, wrap it in a really wet, that's why I have it over here, a really wet paper towel, just like this. So you're going to wrap it up in a soaking wet paper towel. I switched to spring water, but I got it to crack with regular water, but I wanted to see if I could get them to crack sooner with spring water. And yes, there's another bag that I have that I only did with spring water, crack faster. And it seems like this one's cracking and rooting a little bit faster. I'm going to still say like a month, 3 weeks to a month, 3 weeks to 2 months, even maybe 3, but your root isn't going to be fully developed yet. And then you put it in a plastic bag, stick it in front of a really sunny window. It's going to do what? Create its own humidity, create its own greenhouse effect. And then or you can tape it to a window, but make sure it's a window that gets lots of sun. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys this. This is awesome. I am so excited. So I got to change out the paper towels today. And you want to change out the paper towels once a week. If you think once a week is too much, you can do once every 2 weeks. You see that? And it's splitting. And you see the little root that's coming out? So the seed is actually inside. Isn't that amazing? You see that? Cover me up. That's awesome. It is actually working. So my friend tells me it's quite a few years before it, but hey, just have an avocado tree, period. I don't care if it's going to be a few years before it actually bears fruit. I don't care. They still sell avocados in the store. So that is our tip of the day. Is how to get that avocado to seed, to roots. Awesome, right? I think it's awesome. Awesome sauce. So I'm going to have several of these. And I'm doing them every time I make guacamole quite often. And, I did feel kind of bad about just throwing the seed away. And my daughter, because I never thought anything could grow from it. And my daughter would say, well, maybe we should try to do something with the seed. Maybe we, with the nut of the avocado. And I was like, no, it doesn't do anything. I don't think you can actually plant this. But, I looked up some things to see what you could do. And I, of course, tried the cup method. Just didn't work for me. But this method is working, like, I'll say 100% of the time. This is the second one I got to crack. But I'm careful with it because I don't want to drop it. But there's a third one that I checked on that I started before the others. It's cracking too. So that's fun. So we're going to end on a lovely little note. Since I am Detroit Gladiator, we're going to end with a goodie, a favorite and a goodie, Considerations of Life, Poems and Expressions by Crystal Rain. I'm working on a new series. It's so difficult finding time to get everything, but one of my goals, and as you can see, we have several goals on our page. If you have questions about those goals, DM me, PM me, however you want to call it. Follow me on the different channels. Peace, love, and many blessings. So, create Detroit. I keep hearing that you're dead, no longer fed by cogs, gears, and steel. The people that inhabit you are doomed. No education, no jobs, moneyless. No need to try, no need to cry. Your efforts wasted. Don't dare to dream, consider yourself deferred. I can't help but breathe with air. Heart continues to beat to a rhythm of its own. Eyes continues to see life. I don't feel dead. I don't see death taking every life. Life didn't cease, only the machines ceased to exist. No longer fed by cogs, gears, and steel, left to create and recreate this wheel. No longer a machine simply made to push steel, left to create and recreate this wheel. No need to hate, no need to fear, most in the same boat, trying to stay afloat. No need to hate, no need to fear, most in the same boat, trying to stay afloat, left to create. Create Detroit. Peace, love, and many blessings.